Welcome to Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today, friends, we have another exciting guest on our podcast today. His name is Danny, and he's with a Facebook page called No Party. So he's going to talk to us about his political philosophy, his views, and all that good stuff. So welcome to the podcast, Danny.
Hey, pleasure to be here.
We're glad to have you. If you get started by kindly giving us an introduction to yourself, a brief biographical sketch.
Okay, well, I'm a jack of a thousand trades, man that works with my hands. I'm also a musician. I work for a movie studio as well. I kind of don't, my hands are in everything. And
Oh, wow.
I recently, between the Joe Biden and when he won that last election there, that's when I really got into it and created the page. So I got tired of seeing how the left and right just fought all the time and got nothing done. So that's what led me to build the page there.
Perfect. So you're a musician. What type of music do you play?
I play mostly originals, make up my own music, and then been in a lot of bands since Marilyn Manson used to be down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh,
The flyer cars with them guys. And then
okay.
the original music scene died pretty much a year after they left. And everything went back to people playing covers of, other people's songs to make money out there in the circuit. So,
okay. So, like, alternative type stuff? That's the
yeah,
stuff you do?
alternative, 80s retro, reggae, industrial music, heavy metal. Been in a lot of bands over the years.
Oh, wow. Wow, a lot of genres. That's good.
Discriminate, much like with politics. I've always been independent since I was 18. I registered to vote.
Oh, good. Good for you. So your state has political party registration?
Oh God, does it? When you go to get your driver's license and you try to find independent now, it's like after 100 other no party. There's so many parties in it now.
Oh.
On the pick, I don't know if you saw that.
No, our state doesn't have that. We don't register by parties.
Yeah, but they have it. They have, Republican, Democrats, and then they have, I'm not joking, about 20 other parties there. Independent, no party, left party, right party, this party, that party, before you get to the end, then they got independent there.
So that's the one you prefer, independent?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's better than no party preference.
Well, the other ones are no party this, no party that, so I think independent's more of a no party in a way, but, what independent would run even Trump was not wanted by the Republican Party, so he's, when he talks about the Republican Party, he says they, them. You ever notice that?
Oh, good point, yeah.
About the Republican Party, but he was kind of forced into that. I think he could have won independent. He's been the first in a long time, but.
Yeah. Yes. So
But,
why do you think he does
as far as
that
no
then?
party goes, I don't think there should be. It should be like it was before, and the majority vote wins, and Congress and House, and they developed that so there wouldn't be all these for some reason. I forget the reason.
So you think it should be? You think they should be banned parties, or do you think people
parties
should
altogether? No parties. There were.
Oh, okay.
That's not how the founding fathers did it.
You're right. Yeah, George Washington.
Parties back then, it's just the majority vote won, popular vote won. There wasn't. Was it the vote they give the states, the college electorate, right?
Yeah.
So, so no more parties at all.
Okay. So how do we get there? How do we get back to where we got?
How do you get there? Okay. Yeah. Well, you got to get rid of lobbyists, right? Because the lobbyists aren't going to be able to, pay all these people to get their votes swayed. They have to pay everybody, right? They can't just pay enough on one side of the party that wants them, for this particular farm vote or whatever they're voting on, lobbyists that give briefcases full of money to people that sway votes. It's been going on too long.
Okay.
Corruption,
So if there were no parties, it would be more difficult for them to corrupt
yeah.
the system because they have to get educated in all the candidates, and they have to go to a lot of different places where the political parties are more concentrated sources of influence, right?
Right. And
Okay,
they shouldn't even let them into the Congress. Like, I can't walk into the Congress building, but the lobbyists can.
Good point,
Yeah. Well, what's with that?
Yeah, good point.
So, ban them from going in there and soliciting, and they'd have to do it another way, through email or whatever. But, they couldn't kind of ban lobbyists.
Okay.
I'm not for banning much, but it's like, it's
yeah, that works. Yeah, that's
criminal, really, what they're doing.
Yep. A lot of people call it legalized bribery.
Right. Even, Joe Biden and his son took a trip in the plane and went and did that and came back with briefcases full of money, right?
Mm.
So this is how it's done, son.
Yeah.
So it's treason, really.
Oh, wow.
On the part of Biden. I'd go as far as treason.
Wow.
What he sold the favors to other countries.
Yeah.
I think it starts with a lot of politicians when they, first become congressmen or start stepping up, and then, somebody walks in the door with a briefcase of money so they could build their property over here, and you get it approved by the boards, and then, just start taking that briefcase of money right when you're getting you're a mayor or you're a congressman before you get to the Senate and the House, So by then they're already corrupted, so.
Yeah,
that's going to be hard to change that unless unless there's some consequences.
Yeah.
For these people. And they really track the money down and hold them accountable, and the IRS and the government, they threw everything at Trump they could. It's just, but then when you try to get what's his name in his laptop, Hunter Biden in his laptop, it's what laptop?
Yeah, so I take it you were disgusted that he pardoned his own son, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't even get charged with the other stuff, with espionage and trafficking secrets and everything in his computer,
Yeah.
And getting votes swayed this way or that way.
Yeah.
Make it easier for some of these other countries to do what they want. Instead of what we need for, as our country needs.
Yeah, our best interest, huh?
It's pretty common sense. It's just a lot of people, either don't know or don't care.
Yeah, sure.
They say, what can we do about it? And then obviously, Trump does do a little bit of, investigating into that and holding them accountable. Finding some proof laying around the White House. I don't know. But it's really not his nature to go after people. Everyone thinks he's going to tear down everything and hold everyone accountable, but he's got bigger things to do. But I don't think he's a malicious person like that. But in this case, with the Bidens and what they've done, I deem it necessary to start at least to get rid of this corruption and hold some people accountable and freeze some bank accounts and go down the line,
Yeah. So getting lobbyists out is one way to get us away from the parties. What are other ways?
Like I said, freeze some bank accounts and do some IRS checking on where they got this money and how they bought that car or how they got that boat.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Down to every, there's probably rumors around somebody that gets caught will tattle on somebody else to get out of trouble, maybe,
Yeah.
Like you got to open up one bread box to get to the other, I guess, or get the bread out.
That's true. Yeah. So financial scrutiny can break up the party system.
Well, that would help. It get rid of a lot of corrupt people. They'd probably resign. You know, we should get rid of some of the corrupt people, and the people that are corrupting them. And that'll be a big warning sign that, you know, they can't get away with that. And then,
Sure.
as far as getting parties changed, I guess, isn't there a way we could petition? Then we have a right to petition the government to. So maybe you have to get a huge petition together to.
We do indeed, yes.
To the same Supreme Court or something that deems it. You know, we need a lawyer for this one.
A constitutional amendment. Do you think our Supreme Court right now would go for that? Because aren't they part of the problem?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. A lot of them are judges. You know, they grew up in the judge system. Yeah, some judges are corruptible, some aren't. It's not the same as they're not politicians.
Huh.
They're not supposed to be.
Okay.
You know, when you vote, they're usually not, you know, voted on based on that. It's not supposed to be. They're supposed to be biased. I think for the most part they do the right thing, and they got to prove why they voted this way or that way.
Okay.
And then, you know.
Could we bring the parties down through RICO?
Excuse me?
Could we bring the parties down through RICO?
RICO? The RICO Act? I don't know about that, but
that's how they sometimes get people that are otherwise hard to get through the racketeering.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to get someone to blow with. You got to dig into somebody and get proof on that person, and then they open up more doors to get in there, and then you can, sure. That's how you have to have proof. There's some witness, just like if you're blowing the whistle on a company with the FEC or something, you know, SEC, you know, that they were doing wrong in their company, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like a company, the government, being run like crap. You know, they're getting installed in the distribution department or where they're putting the stuff in the boxes because the other guy doesn't want to put it in the boxes. You know, so nothing gets done and production stalls and your company fails, right?
Yeah.
Or there's a riot, which I don't know. Or what do you call it? Strike. So it's kind of like a strike, I guess. You'd have to strike or somehow, or do a petition where everybody signs it. Just about enough people. Get rid of, and when you go into the House to make a vote, you're not one side or the other. This side needs that many points, that side needs that many points. You just need a total amount of points to win that vote, you know? Not, this side has more than yours, you know?
So people wouldn't worry about their side winning or their side losing. They'd be more concerned about the merits.
There wouldn't be sides.
Bills.
There wouldn't be sides. There wouldn't be sides. And then people, when they're voting on a ballot, there wouldn't be an R and a D and an I next to their names. So they're really not really knowing who they're voting for if they're voting for their party. A lot of times, they're just voting for their party.
Yeah.
They might not know who that is, what they stand for, none of that. So this would force people to vote to actually know who they're voting for on that ballot, because there's no R and D or I next to it. So it's more educational. You know, people have to educate themselves on it. You know, and I think
I drive people to be more concerned about their voting because they wouldn't have to do so passively.
Right. Right. They're not depending on their party to make their decision for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing. And then voting online, I think, would be great. Just like you run your bank account online, there's security measures to make sure it's you, right? And when you open an account online, so put your social security number in. It couldn't have voter fraud as much, I think, if you voted online. You know, you plug in your social, and then there's only one social to go into the system. So.
Oh, there you go.
You can't, so I don't have a problem with online voting. Because you got to show your ID when you go into the voting box, at least in my state.
Yeah.
You have to show your ID and show your voter's ID card. So it's not really anonymous. You know. And still,
Yeah,
your
you're
vote
right.
would be yours and anonymous online as well. You know, but so I think online voting wouldn't have a problem either.
Yeah. A lot of
Everyone's
sites
afraid
these
of
days.
it for some reason because they
Yeah.
can't manipulate it anymore. They can't. I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Be
Interesting.
more secure, two-step verification, and you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of sites are requiring that these days. Your web, you have to verify your ID.
yeah,
So
you
it's
have to even
possible,
have
I'm
a
sure.
picture of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
your bank wants that if you're only online. You know, banking or even
Yeah.
eBay. You know, or whatever you're doing
Yeah.
involving money. So anyway, getting out of
Yeah.
breath.
Yeah, that could be done. A while back, we had somebody on the podcast who ran some e-voting for organizations, so they got a lot of options we have for that. So it's possible, sure.
Right. So that's pretty much most of my things right there. You know,
Okay,
I know there are a lot of
good.
big things in there, but some are achievable for
Oh
sure.
yeah. We can. Yeah, they can work. So what have been the people responding to the page? Are they
I
on
just
board with what you have to say?
mostly random stuff, and you know, sometimes I might seem to be a little pro Trump here and there. I'm just pro the underdog and the one they're trying to beat, and anyone that's disturbs the norm. You know, he's not a politician kind of thing. So.
Oh, okay.
And everyone is definitely afraid of him, like for some reason, when all he wants is MAGA became a bad word. Like "Make America Great Again" is a bad thing. You know? I just found, and I found just the other side in general are very violent and mean, and you know,
Oh,
like wanted to murder and kill over a vote. You know, instead of I've been to Trump rallies and everyone's having fun and nothing bad to say. And I've even asked I've asked a lot of people if you want to know about how people think about it. I've been to a lot of rallies. I've been to his birthday rally. I got everyone to do the T sign with Trump with the hands. I said, is there no symbol for him? And then I took pictures. They were cool. They let me with the cameras. They probably wouldn't have after his assassination attempt. But anyway, it was all fun and, you know, nothing wicked or evil. And, you know, they would say Trump's an a-hole and stuff like this. There was nothing like that at all. I mean, maybe some T-shirts in the parking lot said something about Biden. But, but nobody actually said it. But I did ask people what they would think about there being no more Republican, no more Democrat, no more, you know, just vote your, and nobody had a problem with it. Maybe one out of 10, maybe 1 out of 20.
wow.
You
That's
know, it
good.
just was, and that was basically saying, well, how are you going to do that? You know, it's just standing outside of all these places and getting signatures and, or putting it in an organization to do that. You know, I physically couldn't do it by myself. No Superman.
Yeah.
Dan.
Sure.
Super Dan.
Yeah, it is a big endeavor. The party system is very well entrenched, as the guests on this
like
podcast will say over and over.
Yeah, just like when the marijuana people, you know, they were everywhere for a while, you know. They managed to get a coalition together, so.
You're right.
It's possible, so.
Yeah, you're right.
If you get something on the ballot to change, maybe you'd have to deal with state by state. I don't, it has to be the whole it's the federal government we're talking about, so.
Yeah.
It'd have to be every state on board, I guess, to change something like that.
Yes.
Right? Because you can't just do half the House, half the Senate, you know, state by state, little by little, I don't think would work. It'd have to be all at once, you know, kind of thing. Change that.
Yes. Yeah, we did have a group called Nonpartisan Nebraska on our podcast, and they're in the Nebraska system, their legislator is nonpartisan. So it's possible. It's done on one state, so it could be done federal. So yeah, you're right.
Unless you get the states to do it on the micro level before you go to federal government, right? Like,
yeah, you could build up that way.
You know, everybody that's in the commissioners, and they're not federal, that's state, right? So the governor, the mayors, so you get rid of Republican, Democrat in the state itself, then you get enough to do that, then it moves to federal. Okay.
Yeah, that could work.
That's workable. Then that
Yeah.
starts it out, yeah. So how do we start it by state? You guys still hit every point, I don't know, get it on the ballot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea. That could work.
So what would it be on the ballot? What would you call it?
You could call it maybe the abolition of party designation for voting or something like that.
Dissemination of party sides in the state of Michigan or something? I mean,
Okay.
I don't know, state party abolishment? I don't know. Or
Yeah.
no party succession.
Yeah, there could be a lot of good things we can name it. That would be part of the process of thinking of a good thing to call it. That would.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't scare people or make them go, what is that?
Yeah.
Something plain and simple,
Yeah.
but gets the point across.
Yeah, not vague. Something that we understand.
So they're not
what
like,
we're
what's
talking about.
that I'm signing? You know what I mean? It says it right there, kind of.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's possible. It's possible. It's been done before. This type of thing. So it's possible. It
What
wouldn't
did
be
they call
easy,
it?
but
What did they call it when they got it in? Forget that.
like I was reading about when the one guy, he did a paper in college for, he didn't think that the Congress people should be able to vote their own raises in. And then the college professor said it was not a very good idea. But then he said, no, it's a good idea. And then he got all the states to approve it. And then it passed a constitutional amendment. So it could be something like that.
What was that called?
That was called, other than, I think it was the 27th Amendment, something about congressional pay. I don't remember the exact title of it, something like that. So the title was, though I can't remember exactly what it was something about Congress not being able to vote on their own pay. So people understood what they were talking about, and then the amendment itself gave description. So it could be like that. It could be a constitutional amendment with this. It could be a simple title, and then it could be some brief summary of it on the amendment that we are getting
Yeah, that
rid of.
doesn't sound right. That you should figure out your own pay.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. There's a very vested interest in that. They tend to vote in favor of it. Though there are people who have integrity who say no, we don't need to. But in general, a lot of people are going to vote for their own pay raise.
Who figures out what the president gets paid? The president?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who does figure that all out? The accounting department of the federal government? What the Treasury Department, I suppose?
Yeah.
Supposed to figure all that out, isn't it?
Yeah. So we don't want the people who are getting the benefit of it to be the ones who decide it. So that was a good constitutional amendment. And likewise, something like that could happen with this idea.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about for sure. And maybe there's people in the audience that are going to take action on this.
Yeah, like I'll definitely do it wherever you post this. Have somebody post some ideas for what you want to call it.
Exactly. There you go. Good idea.
So I don't know what you have there.
So in addition to your page, is there other ways that people can contact with you?
You can message me through there, but it's I don't check it all the time like I should.
Oh, okay.
A lot of other things going on, but
Oh yeah.
so I'm not as on there, but yeah, I'll check it more often now, especially, and then because I'm gonna repost this when you send this to me.
Okay.
I guess
Sure.
send me a link through there, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh great. Yeah, we can do
And
that.
then I'll repost it and then share it and then on all the other things I got.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
Twitter and
Yep.
all that.
Exactly. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
All right, Danny, we thank you for coming on the podcast today and talking about your idea. We appreciate hearing about it, and it's an idea that has a merit. So that would be great if we could get some action towards this by somebody.
Never know. And maybe by the end of the Trump's administration, we can get that in there and get him to sign off on it.
That's a good goal.
I'm sure he'd be for it. Like I said, the Republicans didn't want him in there and any more than the Democrats. Both times around.
Yeah, there you go.
All 3 times around, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. So. All right.
We wish you all the best in everything you do.
I wish you the best, too.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.